today's video? Well, today we are gonna do part 2 from the Q&A that I shot. We already answered a lot of questions, but we still have a lot to go. So we are going. So next is from Walt Janssen. Hey man, cool videos, keep it up. My question is an engine cold air intake upgrade worth it? Well, I actually made a complete video about that, so I would certainly watch that one, because then I have a whole video explaining a cold air intake. But the short answer is yes, I think. It depends on what you want. Do you want massive power gains? Then no. If you want a very cool intake sound, then yes. So if you want a very cool intake sound and maybe gain like a couple of horses, like 2 or 3 horses on the way, then yeah, it's worth it. But it's pretty expensive cold air intake. It's like €450. But if you're like, I expect to gain another 20 horsepower out of it with a stage 1 tune, then no. But it really does make a cool whoosh noise and induction while accelerating. So I think it's worth it, and it actually makes your engine bay look a little bit more special than a standard M13 engine one. So yeah, I would say a cold air intake is worth it. Next question is from Colin Brano, and he actually said it in Dutch, so I'm going to translate it. Is it possible on a 118 I or D, I don't know, it doesn't say, from after 2012 to put an M bumper on, another diffuser and exhaust? What should it cost? Well, yeah, that's possible. Actually an M bumper, an M car with an M package or a non-M package are identical, the same. It's just the bumper and some plastic pieces that are different, and the suspension sits a little bit lower and the interior is differently, but they're the same car, so yeah, it's possible to exchange it, because I've done it myself. It doesn't matter what engine you have, they're all plastic pieces, stuff like that, it's all the same. So yeah, that's possible. And cost price, well, you can get you can get the bumpers at Timber Products. That's that's about €700 for a complete package. And then it really depends on where you will get it painted and where you will get the exhaust done. But I would say painting those bumpers and mounting them is around, I would say €600, €700, €800. It really depends where you go. And the exhaust with a 135i diffuser, which you also can get a bit in products for around €120. And then the exhaust itself would be around €300 to €400, depends on what you want. But yeah, so if you add that all up, if you want an amp package with double exhaust look, you would be looking at around €2,000. So it ain't cheap, but it really transforms your car. But be sure to lower your car afterwards, because on a stock ride height it just looks a little bit too high, I would say. But yeah, it's possible. Jordy the B asks, I'm pretty curious which filming equipment you use nowadays. Are you using any kind of gripple? So what I'm using is, I'm using my phone at the moment. Not at the moment, but I use my phone a lot actually. It's a Realme X2 Pro, and I like about it, it has 4 cameras. So it has a wide angle camera and then a good main camera, and then it's a pretty decent package for the money. And then the other thing that I'm using, but maybe you can see it on this way, is actually my GoPro. As you can see, I'm using my GoPro on a mount that I just ordered somewhere, and it's a GoPro 7 white. Yeah, it's a white. So that's the one. That's my setup. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, GoPro and this phone, and that's mainly the only things that I use at the moment. I still want to use better equipment, but it's expensive, so this is where we're starting with. We already got the GoPro, which films a lot better than our phones do. So yeah, that's what I'm currently using. And I also use some accessories for the GoPro, stuff like that. So, but it's still the GoPro and the phone that I'm using. The only 2 things that I'm using. So yeah. Okay. Next question is from Mike Oivelde. Where do I get my tire leathers from? Well, I actually bought my rims and tires second hand from someone, and he already installed them. So sorry, I have no clue. I never looked at it. I absolutely have no clue where they came from. So sorry, I just don't know. Sorry. So the next question is from Il Papagai or something. Sorry mate, it's a tongue twister. Do you use 5W40 or 5W30 oil? 5W30, that's what I use. That's also what my garage recommends. I think I do at least. I think I still actually have a can of oil. Let me check for a second. Yeah. This I still found someone just to be sure. This is what I use Castrol Edge 5W30. This one. So yeah, it's Castrol Edge 5W30 C3 because the long life doesn't really matter because it has no long life in my car because I change oil every 10,000 kilometers. So that's the oil that I use. Okay, next question is from Kenzo Plateau. Are you ever gonna use a downpipe? And what's your tire sizing front and rear? I already explained the downpipe thing last video, so probably I'm going to do that for stage 2, yeah. And my tire size is 225, 40, 18 all around. But now next Friday I'm actually going to get new tires and the rear ones will be 245, 40, 18. And that's actually a little bit bigger sidewall because the 35s were not available in the tire that I wanted, but it doesn't really matter that much. And also the bigger tire wall will actually maybe give me a little bit more grip on the lounge, so maybe we can drop our 0 to 100 lounges even better. Who knows? Okay. Next question is from Simon Dilgat. I think where can I buy merch from you, as in the grill and stuff? So I am trying to get a website live in the future, but I'm still not certain how and when. But for the moment, you can message me on Instagram. And just send me a PM with what you want, and then I'll see if I have it in stock or not. But because really people are buying quite a lot, and I can't order too much in a week. I have a limit. My supplier gives me a limit, so that sucks. And I'm always, people ordering more than what my limits give me. So sometimes they have to wait a week longer. I'm trying to get in stock, but everything I have in stock is gone within a few days. But you just message me on Instagram, what do you want? So the splitter, the grill, the blinkers and the mirror caps, and then I just very simply I just put them aside for you, and when they arrive I message you and you transfer me the money, or you can go pick it up here at my home. And then that's how everything works out. So you don't have to pay. You only have to pay when I send them up. So people sometimes, I get it, they are not trusting it 100%, but you don't have to pay anything up front. You can say, I want the grills and I want the blinkers. Okay, fine. And then I say that's €100, but you only have to pay it when it has arrived. And I really sent you a picture with, here's your stuff. So yeah, you can trust me on that side, and a lot of customers already have, ordered with me and they all received their stuff, so they can't complain, I think. Okay, so the next question is, oh, it deleted again, god damn it. Okay. Also from Simon, if I would buy stuff from you, can I just come get it, or how does it work? So yeah, you can just come get it. You can pick it up at my home if you want to, or you just send me your home address and I send it to you. So yeah. Next question is from Sebastian Minan, and he actually is asking 5 questions. That's a lot. I'll answer them all 5 of them, but if you guys are all going to do that in the future, then I won't be able to answer all of them, because I got like 20 people commenting, and if they would all answer if they would all ask 5 questions, then I would, be pretty for a very long time. But for now, it's okay. Have you ever experienced a drive-through malfunction that shows up in the iDrive? I think it's a very common issue in the F20. Yeah, I have once when the ignition coil failed. so I had no ignition in the cylinder, and then it said that. But the problem is you see that error a lot because it can mean a lot of things. That error really can mean like 100 different things, and it's actually a check engine light in your iDrive, and that's why you see that much, because it can be that. BMW uses that error a lot for a lot of different problems. So it doesn't, you can show it up in 10 F20s and it can mean something different in all of the cars. So that's why you see that much. But I had it once with ignition coil failure. His next question is, can I make launch control if I have an automatic gearbox? Yeah, but on some gearboxes you will have to need it coded in. So I would say go to a coder, and he probably can code launch control into your automatic gearbox. Next question is, do you have a rattling noise at cold start? Yeah, I do. It's the wastegate. It's perfectly normal for these N13 engines. I've also first thought that something broke. I did some research. It's the wastegate. It just makes a sound like that, and it's perfectly normal. So you can also have another rattle, but that's really sounding very different. And if that's the case, then your chain is due for a replacement. But on these, it's mostly the wastegate. So yeah, your car's hood also is really hot after using it. I have no other cars, but this one is really hot. Yeah, it's really hot, and I'm gonna show you why. And after this explanation, you will think, oh yeah, of course. But this car's hood is very hot for one reason. The turbo sits pretty damn high, and there's a heat shield here. So yeah, if the turbo can get glowing hot, but really hot, like glowing, and then it dissipates a lot of heat, and then the heat shield will take away a lot of it, but it will still come through, and that's why this certain area is very hot. So yeah, it's normal because the turbo in this car sits up very high. Any speakers improvement you can recommend? Not so expensive. You have completely Gladen music, the speaker system, but that's like 1,500 euro. So if you don't want to spend too much, I would just say get a subwoofer for in the back. You can get them pretty cheap, second-hand market, some stuff like that, and then that will really crank up your bass. You will lose a little bit of boot space, but really it will really make a very cool sound difference. So if you don't want to spend too much money, I would get that, like a subwoofer built into your car, and yeah, that's what I would do. Okay, next question is, would you ever consider switching from manual to automatic box in your BMW? That's from 1000 Ping. If the question is like if I would ever convert this one to an automatic, then absolutely not, because that's just very stupidly expensive for a 149, and I just like it in a manual as it is, so I wouldn't change it for an automatic. But if the question is if my next car would be an automatic, then there is a slightly chance, because I actually want my next project car to be really fast, and then an automatic is just the way to go. But I always want to have a manual in my own. I always want to own a manual. So I'm probably thinking my dream setup would be an automatic M2 and keep this one. That's what I would want to, but not 100% certain. But yeah, switching this to an automatic, never. Getting an automatic as the next car, possibly. Not 100% sure, but possibly, yeah. Okay, next question is, oh, it's refreshing again. Oh, it's so annoying. I'm gonna throw this phone to the ground. Oh, it's actually already the last question. The next one is from Ski Gaming HD, and it just refreshed again. Holy shit. Okay, hey man, so my question is, what body kits would you recommend to start off with? I have an almost identical car to you. The only difference is mine is a 116i. It's all stock. Need some help deciding where to start my modding journey. So I would first start with an M package if you already have that. So you already have an M package. Then I would get a front flip. Just look at this beauty. And a rear spoiler. I think a front lip and a spoiler on the back really makes the car just look a little bit more aggressive, I would say. Yeah, I think that, you know, an M package 1 series always looks nice, but it's something you see very commonly. But if you add this grille, it suddenly changes the whole front to a much more aggressive one. I mean, with this wrapped in black, I would say, yeah, that's cool. And then, you know, for the rear, I'm gonna show it real quickly. If you already have an M package, I would say get the boot spoiler, because that just, you know, that looks better. Yeah, that looks better. I mean, it gives it the extra wing. Oh yeah, looks so nice. And also from the rear, I would say it just gives the extra more aggressive touch that I would really want from a 1 series, because without the spoiler I wouldn't like the boot that much. So yeah. Anyway guys, I think that's all the questions. I'm gonna double check for a second. Oh dear, my camera is almost falling. I'm just gonna check for the last time if I answered everything. I think I have done that, so yes. Okay, so all the questions are answered. So anyway guys, I'm gonna do these Q&As once a month. So if you have a question, I will post it within a few weeks for a next Q&A, and then you can post your questions down below, and then I will try to answer them as good as possible. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.